Here's a script excerpt for the sisters fighting for survival story. This scene takes place after the sisters have been pursued through the wilderness and are taking a moment to catch their breath, but they know danger is still close. Scene: the forest. Night, ext. Forest, night. The dense trees sway in the wind. The moonlight flickers through the branches, casting shadows. 54, 30s, crouches low, wiping sweat from her brow. She checks her bandaged leg, wincing from the pain. Sophie, mid-20s, stands nearby, on edge, scanning the surroundings with wild eyes. They've been running for hours. Sophie, whispering, panicked. "Liv, we can't keep doing this. We need to find help. We need to—" Liv, interrupting, sternly. "There's no help coming. We're on our own." Liv pulls out a knife and sharpens a stick, fashioning it into a makeshift spear. Sophie looks around nervously, the fear starting to get to her. Sophie: "We're lost. You know that, right? This is insane." Liv, calm, focused. "We're not lost. We just need to stay out of their sight." Sophie, raising her voice, frustrated. "Out of sight? They're hunting us, Liv. We can't keep running forever." Liv's expression hardens. She continues sharpening the spear, ignoring Sophie's panic. "Liv," quietly but firmly, "we'll survive. I've been through worse." Sophie laughs bitterly, her frustration boiling over. Sophie: "Of course you have. You always have. Miss Perfect Soldier, never scared, never tired, always in control." 54 stops, sharpening, finally looking up at Sophie. Her calm demeanor cracks slightly. "Liv, icy. I'm doing this to protect us, to protect you. Stop acting like a victim." Sophie takes a step closer, her voice shaking with emotion. Sophie: "Protect me? You're treating me like I'm useless, Liv. I'm not a kid anymore. I can help." Liv rises, towering over Sophie, her voice low and intense. 54: "You want to help? Then stop whining and start thinking. Use your head." Sophie, hurt, glares back at her, fists clenched. For a moment, it seems like they might explode into a full-blown argument. But then a twig snaps nearby. Both women freeze, their argument forgotten. They crouch, listening. The forest is silent, too silent. Liv, whispering. They're close. Liv grabs the spear and motions for Sophie to follow. They move quickly but quietly, slipping through the trees, hearts pounding. Sophie whispers behind her. Sophie: "Liv, I don't know if I can do this." Liv stops and looks back at her, softer now, more vulnerable than before. Liv, quietly: "You can. We don't have a choice." Sophie takes a shaky breath. Liv offers her the sharpened stick. After a moment's hesitation, Sophie takes it. Liv: "Stay close. No noise. We stick together, understand?" Sophie nods, gripping the spear tightly. They move as one, silently navigating the dense forest. Scene: Cliffside Showdown XT, Cliffside. Dawn. The sun is barely rising, casting an eerie glow over the cliffside. Liv and Sophie are cornered near the edge of the cliff, the ground falling away into a steep drop. In the distance, they hear footsteps, closer now. Their pursuers are near. Liv, whispering out of breath, "Get down." They drop to the ground behind a large boulder. Sophie's breathing is heavy, fear gripping her. 54 turns to her, eyes sharp. 54: "We make a stand here. We've got the high ground." Sophie, panicking: "We can't fight them. Liv, they're trained killers." Liv grabs Sophie's arm, forcing her to focus. 54: "So are we. You're stronger than you think." Sophie swallows hard, the weight of the situation sinking in. Liv scans the area, eyes narrowing as she spots their pursuers. 2 shadowy figures moving toward them through the trees. 54: "When I say go, we split. They'll have to choose who to follow." Sophie, nervous: "And then what?" Liv, steely: "Then we take them out, one by one." Sophie nods, her fear giving way to determination. Liv tightens her grip on her knife, ready for the fight. The footsteps grow louder. The moment is near. Liv, low: "Go." They break from cover, sprinting in opposite directions. The pursuers split up, One follows Liv, the other Sophie. Liv runs along the cliff's edge, leading her pursuer into a narrow path. She ducks into a thicket, hiding. Her attacker passes by, oblivious. 54 silently approaches from behind, knife in hand. In one swift move, she grabs him and slices his throat. He drops without a sound. Meanwhile, Sophie is running through the forest, her heart pounding. She trips, falling hard. Her pursuer is gaining on her. Sophie scrambles to her feet, gripping the spear. She turns to face the attacker, terrified but ready. The pursuer lunges at her. Sophie thrusts the spear forward with all her strength. The attacker grunts, impaled, and falls to the ground. Sophie stands there shaking, covered in blood. She stares down at the body, breathing hard, barely believing what she's done. Liv appears behind her, watching with a mix of pride and relief.